Are you a lone parent looking to move to Jamaica and concerned about whether or not this is something that you can pull off and how it might go for you? Well, we're going to talk about that for you here today.
Jam from family, the Jam from family, yeah. Jam fam, come hang with me.
Hello, Wagwan, big up yourself, whether you're there yard or you're there abroad. Welcome back to another episode of Life with the Jam Fams. Now, on this episode, we're going to be talking about lone parents moving to Jamaica and what are some of the things that you need to consider before you take on the move to Jamaica. We're going to talk about 5 things that you need to consider. I didn't want to do this with the singles because as a lone parent, there are a few other things that you need to consider that singles won't need to consider. So we're going to talk about those 5 things. Number 1 is to prioritize educational options. You're coming with children, and if you're not going to be homeschooling, then you need to contemplate prioritizing their educational options that are available to them. So you want to move into areas that have a track record of providing quality education to children. Now, many people who move here contemplate private education during the preparatory time, so that primary school age. And then, of course, they go over into state-funded education for secondary school. Some people just come and they just go with the state provision and move on from there. What you want to be sure of is that where you're going and where you're going to be placing your children are places where they will be able to get an optimal education. As an educator, I can say to you that it is less about whether the school is private or state-funded and more about the demographics of the environment that are the catchment or feeder to the school that your children will be going. The socio-economics of the communities that feed into those schools that you would need to consider, and then see what interventions you would need to put in to ensure that your children are going to be having good quality education. And hence why I mentioned looking at the track record of the schools that are within the local for the areas that you want to go and live. One of the things that we did when we were moving to Jamaica, because of the fact that I'm moving with a child who is in school age, is I explored the educational provisions that are available to ensure that what she's going to be exposed to is going to be what is the best and going to be the best educational opportunities for her while she's here, because of the track record that those schools in our local areas have demonstrated over the decades that they can provide for your children. Another thing that you want to do is point number 2 is to make sure that you join parents' networks. And so whilst you want to be involved in different social networks when you're here, parents' network is important, especially if you're coming with small families, because you want to have a network in which your children will be able to interact and socialize with children outside of school. And this parent network gives you that opportunity. The second thing about joining a parent network is that you want to also be able to interact with other people who have similar life makeup as yourself, because as parents, there are a lot of things that you're going to share in common in terms of the demands on your life and on your social time. So therefore, it is important that you're part of those groups, and you can join those whether you go to WhatsApp groups, Facebook groups, or you join church groups or PTA and other groups that are available for you to join within schools, just to give you that opportunity to be in a group of people who can tell you about things that you might want to experience with your child, so facilities that are available, and also just to be a support network for you and for your children as you are moving. And number 3, focus on access to facilities and healthcare options. Moving with children will require you to make sure that you have access to certain facilities so that they can get those exposures and experience. So whether it is that your children are going to be going to martial arts or boxing or swimming or whatever the activities are that you're going to get them involved in, you want to be able to be in a position where those are easily accessible to you and therefore be able to partake in that to the level that you want to. The state schools and independent schools in Jamaica demands medical checks annually. However, as a parent, you're going to want to be able to be in a place where you can access things like opticians and dental care provisions, whether these are state-owned, so national health care, or you're going to go down the avenue of private health care. You want to be in a position where you can access these and access good quality for your children so that you can continue the necessary checks that they need to ensure that they're growing and developing healthy and well. Number 4, consider your budget for shopping and for leisure. Now, when you're here, you're going to want to go off and do things with your family. and therefore you need to consider how much money you're going to be having available to you for each of your months to be able to do this. So whether it is that you're working remotely, or you have different streams of income, or you have savings that you're living off, or you're going to be coming here and developing a stream of income, you need to be conscious of how much you're going to require to spend, and to be able to be clear about that so that you do not run into financial problems and then needing to leave. Now, a lot of leisure activities are here that you don't need to pay for. However, there are some that you do pay a nominal fee to get into, and most of that is to cover just the sanitary provisions that's there on the site. So some of the beaches that you pay to go onto, it's just to keep the beach clean and to take care of the facilities that are present there. However, there are some beaches that you're paying to go into, and you're paying to go into there because the provision that's provided there is privatized. And there are different places in the country that you will go which are private facilities, and therefore you will need to pay an entry fee to access. Nevertheless, you can find lots of places that you are able to go to that you don't need to pay to attend. It's just about you planning that out. There will be other costs involved, of course, in terms of you getting there. Now, people might think about how to commute and how to get around. Now, for us at the moment, we don't own a car for ourselves here in Jamaica, although we owned one where we were coming from. We don't here, and we get around by taxis when we're traveling, and that's perfectly fine. We are perfectly able to get around by taxi, and it's an experience, but it's an experience that you get used to. And I grew up in Jamaica, so I'm used to taking group taxis. Eliona, on the other hand, have learned how to take group taxis, because when she would normally take taxis in the UK, it would be a private taxi, or the occasions where she'd go on the underground or on the train, or go on the buses in London when we go to visit my sister there. So those were her experience of public transport. So you might want to ensure that if your children don't currently experience public transport, you give them an opportunity to, if you're not going to be owning a car when you get here, so that they have that experience from now. So when they get here, it's a little bit of an easier adjustment for them. Now, on the other aspect of it, where we need to go places, it might be that you group up and you do car shares to go to the different events that you're going to, which is why the network is important. Otherwise, there are many companies here that you can rent vehicle from, and there are private rental companies that you can rent from, and in so doing, you're able to go to your different events and activities wherever you plan out those to go. Now, on the other hand, in terms of the shopping, you want to be conscious that some of the things that you're going to want to buy are things that are imported. And you need to be conscious of your children's palate. Some children will move here and they will automatically just change to eating the things that are grown locally and that are provided here. Other children might not want to do that, and so they want to stick to the things that they used to and they were eating before, and then you might need to now be able to provide them with those things. So you just need to be conscious of that, because that can make an impact and a difference to your spend when you are here. And so, of course, it's going to impact on your budget overall. The other factor impacting on your budget is where you live and how much it's going to cost you for accommodation. And so you want to weigh that up as well, just to see that you are living in a place where it's going to be affordable for you and give you and your family a consistent long term of living there, whether it is that you're renting, leasing, or if you're buying, or for those people who are going to be buying land and then building, just to make sure that you're planning out the budget for that as you're going along. Number 5 is to pack or ship certain necessities. Now, when you're coming and you pack or you ship some of the things that are familiar to you and your children, it helps to help them in their acclimatization when they're here, so that they are still seeing things that they're used to where they call home, and they have those with them here as well, just to help them to gradually get into the notion of knowing that they've moved. They have some things that they're familiar with, and so that helps with their transition into a new country. Also, it allows you the opportunity to ship certain things that you know that they would want to have. So certain smells in terms of toiletries, certain foods that you know that they would want to have and eat. So certain tin things, certain bottled things that you're able to ship, so that they can have access to that, and it lasts them for a little while whilst they are here and adjusting before you find replacements on the island. So it's important to think about those things that you might want to put in. It also might help to reduce your cost of needing to replace and buy things when you're here, if you pack and ship some of those fundamentally important things and memorabilias for them whilst they are moving and transitioning into a new country. Now, you might also want to go back and have a look at the singles video, because there are quite a few lone parents that I know that are on the island. And some of us are here as lone parents for lots of different reasons. Some people are here because they've become widowed. So they are in that predicament, and they decided along that line that they're going to be moving here at some point in their future. And they are here and they're living with their children and thriving and surviving. There are others who've moved back because they got a divorce and they decided that they're going to remain as lone parents for whatever reason. Some of it is for the benefit of their children, others is just for their own growth and development. And so there are a few of those parents that are here as well as lone parents. There are others who come here as lone parents because their families are making that conscious decision that one of the parents is going to come here with the children to give them that exposure and that experience that they would want them to have of living and growing up in Jamaica. And so one of the parents stays abroad and provide for the other part of the family that are here. And of course, those parents have support in terms of the income, because one parent is left in the country that they're moving from, who is then able to support the other parent and the children who are living here. And there are also those parents who are here because they've decided that they're going to be moving to Jamaica just to give themselves that opportunity to give their children an exposure that they need to regroup themselves and to also try and see how they can forge a life and build out a career here before the inevitable plan of moving back to their country that they're coming from. Talking to some of the parents who have moved here, whether as lone parents or as nuclear families, what we find happening is that sometimes some of the children, they eventually decide that they're going to be moving back to their home country, whether they want to move back for sixth form or they want to move back for university. And some of those children do decide after studying that they want to move back to Jamaica. Some of them decide that they don't want to, they only want to visit Jamaica on occasion. So those are conversations that you will inevitably need to have with your children that you're taking along with you. This is a happy evening. So we bought Eliona this sewing machine when we were coming because she is into the sewing and we just want to get her, so we just got one of those portable ones, and this is what it looks like. But we've not used it because you tried using it before, and what happened?
I tried using it, but we couldn't thread the bobbin.
And so we decide that we're going to get moving at it now. So we found this YouTuber, Boytomela Pula, and what did he say? What did you say?
Thanks for helping, because that was the only helpful video.
So that was one of the videos she found that was really helpful. Similar machine, just
it's basically
the same thing, just a different color, isn't it?
In different company.
And so we've now managed to just see. We just said we're going to give it a go, see if we could fit it up.
Because there's so many things I did wrong.
Oh, when the first time.
This, I didn't even know what this was. This part, basically most of it on there, I didn't even know that those parts even existed until I watched the video. So I'm happy that it came out.
And now you've got it all sorted. And Eliona like upcycling projects and stuff like that. So this is.
I mainly do no sew, and if I do sew, then I ask for help. But most of the time, I hand sew.
And so now you can get it, because that hat you made for school last year,
really hand sewn.
hand sewn all the way, and
maybe I can fix it because some of it separated. So maybe I could even redo it or like fix it.
Okay.
Or even remake it.
And you have fabric, so it's more than
yep. Scraps.
From the last project, so you can get back at it. So she's already done a little bit of stitch along just to test to see if it works. Yep. So we're going to check to just finalize that you've got it and you're fine with it.
Yep.
Okay.
Ready? You shouldn't use a foot pedal to your hand, but oh well. 3, 2, 1.
Yep, I can see the line on it.
Oh my god.
You did it! High five. Yes! One project down.
85,922 more to go.
We've got loads more to go indeed. So thank you, Boy Tumelo Pula, for your demonstration of it. We appreciated your assistance.
It's like I can't stop.
I can only imagine that I'm soon going to have to be crying out for help for my ear, because I can just imagine all sorts of sewing I go on now.
But you'll benefit.
Like, why did
You
I?
get free clothes.
Okay.
And you can have matching suits and everything.
And we'll get you some fabric at the fabric shop, so you can get some stuff done during Kwanzaa time.
And you know, I could actually make scrunchies with this, and I could sell them.
Oh, would you want to do that?
I could, because lots of people, especially at my school, want scrunchies, but they can't find them.
Okay. Like what they want, they can't find. Okay.
And lots of shops don't sell it, and they're very expensive.
And
I would put it with a zipper pocket in there.
And your project that you guys are working on, could, if it involves sewing, then you've got your part that you might play in that cover too.
And I am in the design department, so.
So it comes in handy, isn't it, all around? That's good. I'm glad that it's added to your feeling of fulfillment. Yeah. I like to see that smile. That means somebody is feeling more than happy for what she's accomplished. And
I'm not that much of a small person.
Yeah. So now I can see. Yep, white thread is all over it.
Yep.
And she's practicing curves and all. So.
Oh, I could even embroider, because I can do the curve. I could embroider.
Well, I'm just hoping that I won't have to start screaming when I hear that noise.
They're like, Eliana, it's 2 a.m. in the morning. Why are you sewing?
Exaggerated, but yeah. Well, enjoy your newly set up toy.
Thank you. So, not to forget, let me make sure that this presser foot is down so I don't have any accidents.
See, I tell you now that this will work. She's going to keep going. She find next project now, next thing we have to check and try. Now she'll try to see how we get two pieces together. Well, I will celebrate with her. Guys, the tell her though. Jam Farm Tribe, she's at it. So now she's figured that out. There it is. That's the end result of it.
Next step, making a dress.
I beg, nothing more tonight. But I hear no more of that machine, you know. Anyways, I'm going to run and go do something. So I went away, came back, and this was what she had. And you know how this go now, that this toy is working. And how she went well wanty. Hey, now that it's fully functioning and can do all of the things she need, it's go time. Is your face? Later.
Bye.
Eliona, please tell the Jam Farm Tribes where you got this hairband from.
Myself.
I told you, tribe.
I just made it. See? I made a scrunchie.
So this is her trial run. She decided she's not going to pack it away until she made one. And she has. So that's determination right there. So it looks nice and you can have it to wear.
Thank you.
So you're planning to make more, right? Plus other things that you'll inevitably experiment with over the next few weeks. That's fine. And I'm glad you're going into a school break, so you'll have more than enough time to make stuff.
If I haven't already made that.
Before then, okay. With the amount of homework we'll get for our school, chances are. But I'm sure you will figure out how to work them all out so you can fit it in.
Okay. the Jam Fam family. Where Irie living the good life. We're royal, cruising through the West Indies, having fun, enjoying the good life. Jam Fam family, the Jam Fam family, yeah. Jam Fam, come hang with me.
Hopefully we've identified or answered some of the questions that you're thinking about from these 5 different areas that we've talked about here. Whatever your reason is or your situation is for why you are coming to Jamaica as a lone parent, just be conscious of the fact that there are groups here that you will be able to work with and who will be able to support you. You just need to be clear about what it is that you want to achieve when you get here and how you're going to be working through that process of your return. Just making sure that you're planning that out thoroughly. So thank you for staying with us, and bye for now. We will see you in the next one, and all the best with your move if that's what you decide to do.